Yeah, so how's it going, guys? My name's Andy. This is Jordan.
I'm Jordan. I'm the vice president.
And I'm the president of the club. And then Alex Stabiner, who's in here, is our head of recruiting. So the three of us are here. We're all going to be doing this presentation together. If I'm able to, am I able to share my screen? Yes, I am. All right. So we'll get right into it. So we just have a PowerPoint. We're just going to go through kind of the basics of our club, what the school is about, because I would not blame you if you haven't heard of us before. And yeah, so get started. We're Binghamton University Rugby Football Club. We've got the current logo we use on the left and an old traditional logo we use on the right. So first off, about our school. Binghamton University is academically, we're regarded pretty highly. They call us a public Ivy, which is a label that a lot of us kind of mock, but it is a very good school. And we're considered one of the best public universities in the Northeast. Campus is located just outside the city of Binghamton, New York, in Vestal, just a suburb outside. It's about 3 hours northwest of New York City and about an hour south of Syracuse. And our rugby club is one of just over 250 other clubs that are available at Binghamton. So the club was formed in the fall of 1979. We played our first game against Syracuse University, who you'll hear from next. We compete in the Liberty Conference, highest level of collegiate rugby in the Northeast. We play in the Empire Division, which is one of the three, the other two being New England and I-95. So there's teams from all over in this conference. The other teams in the conference are Brockport and Nazareth, which are both up by Rochester. Cortland, which is about 45 minutes from us here. Oswego, maybe 30 minutes from Syracuse. Buffalo, Syracuse, and us. And we recently became part of the NCR, which is just a new league that our conference sort of started up. So next thing we wanted to go through was just kind of how a season looks for us. So we're going to start with the fall. And a lot of you guys may or may not know that college rugby, we kind of play our main season in the fall. And then the spring, we sort of explore other interests. But so we begin with a preseason 2 weeks before the start of classes. That usually consists of a morning or early afternoon conditioning session and then an afternoon practice. Once classes start, we'll practice Tuesday through Friday from 4:30 to about 7 o'clock. That changes depending on how much daylight we have. We also do weekly film sessions Monday nights where we'll break down the game from the previous Saturday. And then games are always played on Saturdays. Vast majority of the time we kick off at 1 p.m. There's an occasional 10 a.m. or whatever mixed in there, but most of them start at 1. And our regular season consists of 6 divisional games. So you play those other teams all once. 2 or 3 crossover games, kind of just depending on what we're able to get. So that might be like a Stony Brook or say a Fairfield, another team in the conference, or really anybody that we can get to play as. And we finish off with a bowl game and a bowl series. It's been hosted by Fairfield in the past. I don't know if that will change in the future, but
I'm sorry. Now,
yeah, go ahead.
Now the bowl games will be played in Boston at I don't know if anyone's aware, knows about Major League Rugby, but they'll be played at the Free Jacks facility, the stadium they play in. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a pretty cool thing to look forward to at the end of the season. They kind of match you up with a conference opponent who finished similarly to you. So whether we win or lose, we do end up getting one of those bowl games, and it's kind of cool to go play in like a nice facility, all that kind of stuff. As for the spring, our spring season is usually a little bit less intense than our fall season, and our focus tends to shift a little bit more towards sevens, at least in the earlier part of the semester. Typical spring schedule for us includes 2 indoor practices a week. We have a local dome that we go to, we book out. Nice place to go and, get some stuff in while there's still snow on the ground. And we usually do 2 or 3 team lifting sessions a week. We have a physical trainer who works with the team. The conference runs a 7 series that we compete in. That's typically 2 to 3 events and then a final at the end of the semester. And we'll also do towards the end, sort of depending on how we do in the 7s, but we usually do 2 or 3 15s tournaments as well. We've done 4 Leaves, Beast of the East, Cherry Blossoms, a whole bunch of tournaments in the past.
And just one thing, now the way our conference is rescheduled is that the 7 series are supposed to run at the beginning of the spring. So we'll play sevens for basically 60-70% of the spring, and then that last late April, Mayish, we are going to start playing our 15s tournaments, ramping up for the next season, getting our starting 15 together for the next fall, things like that, developing new guys.
It's all a little bit up in the air, this stuff right now, just simply because of COVID and the new conference and all of that stuff going on. But this is just a general idea. So this is how we fared in fall of 2019, 11 games, 7 wins, 4 losses, no ties, obviously. 287 points for, 269 against, 18-point differential, and we took 4th place, and there were 8 teams in the conference at the time, but it was very tight towards the top of that, and it was a pretty successful year for us, although we normally would like to aim a little bit higher than that. And last but not least, we have just some team contacts. You guys can either screenshot that, take a picture of it with your phone, whatever. I could put it all in the chat as well if that's something that you guys think would be beneficial. But yeah, that's about it. That's all we have for the presentation. If anyone has any questions, now's a good time for those. You want to stop sharing?
Just one right off the bat. Could you you did talk a little bit about, your practice schedule and your lifting and stuff. Could you just kind of take us through, like a standard practice and what the commitment is going to be like, for somebody who wants to go play in Binghamton?
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as commitment goes, it is a club sport. There's varying degrees. There's guys like me and Andy who are there every practice, every lift, every time. But we understand guys have other responsibilities that maybe they work a job or, academically they're taking more classes, harder classes. Basically, the way we see it, you can attend as many as you want. Like, we love having guys who are just more social members who come once a week just to hang out, to have something to do. But if you're going to really want to compete on the team and compete to be one of those first side starters, you should be there at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not 4. I mean, we're there every week.
Yeah, generally we don't look at it in a way that you're going to be punished if you're not at every practice that week. Because I understand that 4 days a week is a lot. And I think generally people try really hard to make those because, we are doing good things out on the field and everything. But it's never expected that someone's going to be at all 4 days a week. We get that school is obviously very demanding, and a lot of time, we've had situations in the past where freshmen literally cannot schedule their classes in a way that they're able to make all of those. So we're very understanding with that. And it's, we're willing to work with everybody. Basically, there's no pressure to make every single event every single week.
And as far as how our practices are scheduled, usually, we practice 4 times a week plus the film session on Monday. But usually that Tuesday, Wednesday practice are more developmental, working our skills, working on tackling, passing, things like that. And Thursday, Friday are more team-based things. We're putting our side out there and getting them chemistry together and scrimmaging a little less contact, but.
Yeah, so we'll split into forwards and backs pretty much every day, but generally Thursday and Friday, like he said, those are the days that we're going to be running phases in practice and
working on our lineouts, our scrum,
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Any questions from anyone else? I have one more in terms of, recruitment or applications to the school. Are you looking for anything specific from high school athletes in terms of, highlight reels or what kind of skills are you looking for in terms of, somebody to come in and contribute right away? So kind of a couple multi-pronged question there, what does someone do when they're looking to apply? And then what, are you looking for them when they get in?
So being that we're a club, most of the guys on the team, I would say probably 80 to 90% of the guys on the team haven't played in high school. They play. I played football. We played football, and we're big on developing guys once we're here. So anyone really who has played in high school can be a huge asset to the team because they know what's going on right off the bat, and they can be a teacher right away. And it definitely gives you an advantage as to jumping up to the first side of the team. And
we're sort of in a position where we're not really going to be looking for a highlight tape or anything like that from a guy, just because, like he said, our team is so widely populated by people who haven't played before, that, again, pretty much anyone with pre-existing knowledge of the sport will fit right in. So it's sort of just like a get into the school and come and play thing, I would say.
That being said, I mean, if you are interested, definitely let one, like,
yeah, for sure, reach out.
Our coach Brian Grills know beforehand, so we can
yeah, because we can, you know, we'll take you around on an individual tour of the school, and we'll kind of bring you places that the general tour isn't going to show you. We can bring you to the pitch, that sort of thing. So very much, if you're interested, please reach out to one of us, and we are willing to work with you and kind of show you around and all that stuff. So.